But let's talk about influencers and social media.
Yeah, and that leads us to this. So it's like, again, whether you like it or not. So we talked about, we brought up the variant thing and how it's keeping floppies alive. And like, no matter what we talked about today, fair market value, you got YouTubers, you got the top 10 list, and we're just pulling these numbers and we're hyping it up and all this stuff. But you got to think about it. Again, we live in this e-commerce social media world, so much so. And we're seeing LCSs fall to the wayside more and more every year. If it wasn't for comic book, and I say influencers, because that's what everyone else uses. Everyone influences everyone. Content creators, personalities, whatever it is. But, when you think about people like, Comic Tom, who, like him or not, Comic Tom is essentially the godfather of the comic book YouTuber. He's not the most successful, because you got people that review comics that have, where they actually explain the stories, and they have like hundreds of thousands of subscribers. But, for all of us in this market,
for comic collecting YouTube, Comic Tom is the top. But comics explain the stuff. Yeah.
Right. Comics explain. That's what I was thinking of. Now, and you could call, or very, you got a lot of the dealers like Very Gary, Bry's a big dealer, and I know Tom's a dealer too, but he's very unique, I think, still in what he does, and he's revolutionized the hot 10, And maybe, and I've realized that, again, going back to this, it only takes one or two people. I realized when I was doing like comic books to invest in videos, and I tried to talk about books that nobody else was talking about. And I would see books from there land up on Cover Price's top 10 just because I talked about it. So it goes to show you, and I was a little naive about this, it goes to show you how much of a niche market this is. And now you can get one YouTuber. Back then, maybe I had less than 10,000 subscribers, and I'm talking about a book, and I'm even saying in the video, don't buy it just because I'm talking about it. And then sales go up, and it lands on a Cover Price top 10 selling comic books. Whether you think that this is okay or not okay, or people are just influencing or whatever it is, we are tuned in. Comic book YouTubers are, in my humble opinion, maybe to say the face of the hobby right now isn't the right word to describe it, but they are a driving force that keeps us as collectors interested, buying, FOMOing, knowing what's coming down the pipeline, knowing all the hot drama, whether it's silly drama between YouTubers or drama with CBCS suing PSA or Banana Gate and all this stuff. We're clinging to Instagram. We're clinging to YouTube. And this is the comic book hobby, and again, it goes back to what I was saying about the FOMO. We almost get more out of all of the social media interaction than we do the comic book. And because of this, think a social media influencer.
Yeah.
Swag.
Well, shout out to Beyond Wednesdays, Brian in the chat. One time when I had him on my channel, we were talking about this, how it's like, I know we all kind of, there's people who don't like the hot list or whatever, but we talked about how it's like the hot lists in a lot of ways are the lifeblood of at least the back issue collecting world. Like, you have to know what's kind of going on. And again, it's like you said, it's not now's the time to buy those books, but it shows you, here's what's happening in the world. And YouTube has become the LCS, which, by the way, I really think, in terms of what's going to solve comic books, I'm going to keep saying this until I'm, blue in the face, but I just think not the stories, not the better writing or, the price and stuff. I really think the biggest aspect that's missing is like the community factor, at least from a top-down level of Marvel and DC. Like, they got to get people into the LCSs. They got to sell the lifestyle of comic books. Because that's what, not even just the stories. They got to get people into the store and just hanging out and arguing over who's stronger, Hulk versus Thing and all that stuff. Like, that's what you need. And YouTube has become that in a lot of ways. But I think Marvel and DC could do a lot better to actually get people out of their rooms and into the stores.
Yeah, I would love to. We're winding down. We got a couple more things to go over before we wrap up here. Very, very important things. So don't go yet. I would like to maybe bring you back on and maybe even have a third person to actually kind of piggyback off of that and really, focus on the state of the LCS and figure out how we can take this evolving world that we live in, because it's not just the comic book market, it's the evolution of mankind and our society, and I think we just got to accept that. But there are things that we can do to continue to move this hobby along for sure.
And Comic Journey, who was here earlier, he's been wanting to do a show like that, so shout out to him.
Nice